We hand over our physical safety to strangers based entirely on a 5-star rating system. We scroll past photos of glowing living rooms and read through text reviews, trading our security for the convenience of a curated space, often ignoring the reality that we are paying to lock ourselves inside a building someone else owns. Jake, Emma, Marcus, and Olivia found what looked like the perfect rental for a weekend getaway in rural Pennsylvania. For the first day, the house delivered exactly what the listing promised. They made burgers, they played cards, and watched movies, completely insulated from the quiet, empty miles of forest outside. Around midnight, Emma went downstairs looking for a bathroom. A few minutes later, she returned to the living room pale, asking if anyone had been down to the basement. This diagram illustrates what she found. The basement door was fitted with heavy padlocks, but they were mounted on the outside of the frame. You don't put locks on the outside to keep intruders out. You put them there to keep something in. The 5-star reviews had omitted the most significant feature of the property, a door that only locked from the hallway. At 2 a.m., the silence of the house was broken. Jake had gone downstairs for water and was standing in the kitchen when a sound came from directly beneath his feet. It started as metal scraping against wood, echoing through the floorboards. Then came 3 distinct knocks from the basement. Finally, a soft human whisper asked, "Hello?" Jake woke the others, and the group decided to open the door and step down into the dark. The temperature dropped immediately. The warm, finished wood of the upper house gave way to raw concrete, old shelves, and broken furniture. Then Olivia's flashlight swept past a storage shelf and illuminated a dirty mattress hidden in the far corner. Scattered right next to it were fast food wrappers that were still fresh, alongside a phone charger plugged into the wall. The fresh trash and the active power source meant the basement was currently in use. As the group stood over the mattress, heavy, methodical footsteps started walking on the floorboards directly above their heads. The basement door at the top of the stairs slammed shut. The external locks engaged, leaving the group trapped in pitch blackness. Looking at this cross-section of the house, you can see the new dynamic. The guests are confined to the concrete basement, with one person above them controlling the only exit. Marcus pulled out his phone to call 911, but there was no cell service. The house Wi-Fi had been disconnected, cutting off their only link to the outside world. Then, from the darkness of the basement, Emma whispered that they weren't alone down there either. Jake swept his flashlight toward the deepest corner. The beam hit a man standing perfectly still, watching them, before he immediately sprinted into the shadows. They were digitally cut off and physically locked in a box, pinned between a presence walking the floors above and another threat hiding in the dark below. The group huddled in the corner until the police finally arrived 27 minutes later, breaching the house and dragging the man out of the basement. The man the police pulled from the crawlspace was the host, the same person who had provided the cozy listing they booked. This wireframe reveals the host's structural modifications. He built a hidden network of narrow crawl spaces parallel to the living areas. He used this labyrinth to secretly inhabit the home, navigating the walls to watch and listen. Inside this network, police uncovered a surveillance nest containing hidden cameras, a stash of clothes, and a notebook logging previous visitors. On the very last page of that notebook was a single sentence about Emma, written that night. She noticed the basement first. When interrogated, the host told police he hadn't touched the guests, claiming he was simply waiting for the right weekend. Every year, millions of people trust digital reviews to evaluate their safety, but true privacy is a myth when you sleep inside a puzzle box built and controlled by a stranger.